You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans. Well, Brooke Logan says she's got a plan to restore Forrester Creations and get it away from Carter Walton's shady takeover. But her big plan has probably got a few issues that may make it problematic from the start. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's talk about her plan. Some of these issues that I see coming and why it may be flawed from the start and may include some terms and conditions the Forresters will not accept. Please click subscribe if you're not following us, and let's dive right in. Got a lot to cover. I'm going to talk a little faster, so listen a little faster. So, we first heard about Brooke's plan on Thursday's episode. After she accepted the CEO position from Carter, she went on air and she dropped some clues to Ridge, or I think she tried to, but he's not exactly the brightest bulb most days, I mean, he and Steffy, who talked about Hope being an idiot for running Hope for the Future into the ground, don't see the irony. If Brooke's daughter fumbling her line makes her an idiot, what does signing away your company with no recourse make you? Hello, Ridge and Steffy, hello, half-wit, numbskull, imbecile. Those are words that leap to my mind. Anyway, Brooke very intentionally put Forrester at the end of her name, even though she's not married to him, I think as a sign to Ridge that she is still with him. And then Brooke also said, Forrester Creations is in good hands, in my hands. And I think she's trying to reassure Ridge that she's in control of the company and will keep it safe. It sounds nice, but Carter gets to decide everything now. So Brooke saying it's in good hands is not really accurate, but I do think she was trying to convey a message to Ridge, who missed it and is probably going to, stumble right on top of his other ex-wife Taylor soon by the end of the week, maybe. And when Zende chewed out Brooke after the announcement, she said, I know it seems like I'm enabling what's happening by going along with the CEO position. That's not what I'm doing. I have a plan, a way to give Forrester Creations back to Ridge. Zende seemed skeptical, and I will say that even if Brooke's intentions are entirely above board, they still seem pie in the sky hopeful. So let's dig into her strategy and the troubles ahead. And by the way, I have not seen Friday's episode before I taped this. So if Brooke lays out her whole plan on the last episode of the week, some of my points may need tweaking, so just bear that in mind. The first and most obvious problem is, how does Brooke have a plan to get the company away from Carter Walton when the lawyer Ridge Forrester hired said the paperwork is solid? I do think Justin Barber's a big fat liar, but Brooke and everybody else believes the LLC is legally binding. So how's she going to figure out how to do what the lawyer can't do, what nobody else has been able to do? Is she going to slip Carter a secret contract and with some other papers to sign that says, I agree to give back Forrester Creations and walk away empty-handed? I mean, short of that, okay, let's see. Second problem was very clearly conveyed in what Brooke said to Zende. She said she has a way to give Forrester Creations back to Ridge. Not Eric, Ridge, and Steffy. Nope, she just said Ridge. And that's a huge red flag to me. Brooke's been defending Hope and Carter's actions since this unfolded. She said it was shady, but then also justified it. Brooke's thing is she thinks Steffy unjustly fired Hope. Sure, the Finn thing was a misunderstanding because Hope let it be that way and didn't come clean when she was found on top of him. But the core issue was Hope for the Future being a money pit on a downhill slide. And here's the irony. Brooke's upset because Steffy fired Hope based on the assumption that she tried to seduce Finn at the office. How is that different from Brooke and Katie firing Elektra for something they assumed she did? AI deepfakes and Photoshops are pretty standard these days. Some rando person emailed Katie dirty pics and she's like, yep, let's fire her and not tell her why. And Brooke's right there going, yep, let's do it. I hope Elektra sues them. Poor Elektra is 100% innocent, while Hope was presumed guilty because she had been lusting after Finn and had already kissed him once. Brooke thinks Hope felt like she had no recourse but to help Carter steal the company. So can Elektra and Will now justify stealing Forrester Creations under this same excuse, So just this red flag, Brooke saying she doesn't want to just hand it back and restore Ridge and Steffy, the co-CEOs, to their jobs. That's what I think is an issue because she's only saying Ridge. So it sounds like Brooke wants to decide that who she wants to have the company should get it, not the people who were in those jobs. Third problem, if Brooke's plan relies on convincing Hope and Carter to do the right thing, that's a non-starter. They won't. And if Brooke thinks she can convince Hope to turn on Carter and betray him, testify against him in court to it being fraud or whatnot, That's another no-go. Hope will never forget Ridge said everybody hates her, calling her a hateful little bee and a slut, and she won't forget Steffy has done all kinds of stuff to her over the years. This is about Hope getting payback for more than losing hope for the future or getting busted in lingerie on a workday. If Brooke's plan is to use the force of her personality to get Carter to undo what he did, that's a fail out of the gate. Brooke talked herself blue in the face to Hope about this coup and also tried to talk her out of her fixation on Finn. Brooke begged her to stop both times, and guess what? Hope didn't. If Hope is the linchpin of this plan, then it is no plan at all. The fourth problem with this big plan of hers are the contradictions. Brooke says she hates what they did taking the company from the Forresters, but in the next breath, she defended them to Ridge and tried to justify it and blame somebody else. Brooke didn't want Ridge to blame Hope, but Brooke wants to blame Steffy. Just contradictory. And if Zende trots back to the Forresters and says Brooke has a plan, I doubt they'll believe it. I'm interested to see if she can convince Zende she really is an ally to the Forresters. And I imagine that Ridge will say her plan is to make sure Hope gets everything she wants, even though her line was canceled for valid business reasons. I also wonder if Brooke might rethink this grand plan of hers once she finds out Ridge is playing hide the cannoli with Taylor, which I do expect to happen. You would hope Ridge would at least have a conversation with Brooke before sliding into Taylor's sheets, but history points to Ridge not doing that and jumping right from one to the other without taking a breath. If Ridge does rekindle with Taylor, will Brooke still want to give him back the company? Maybe, because she could use it to lure him away from Taylor. But then again, if you have to entice a man in that way, is he really worth having? I mean, I don't think Ridge is exactly a prize, in my humble opinion. The fifth and final issue I see with Brooke's plan, again, without having heard her details, is that I think she's plotting a conditional return. I think this might culminate in something like low-key blackmailing Ridge to meet Brooke's terms, or he can't have the company back. For instance, I cannot see her giving back the company unless Ridge promises that Hope can keep her line forever. Ridge won't like that. Not only because the CEO's job is to cut things that aren't working, but also because Hope was complicit in the theft of his company. You don't reward thieves or negotiate with terrorists. That's just common sense. Plus, Brooke might demand that Steffy can't return as co-CEO. Brooke may even say that Steffy can't come back at all. Or she can come back, but not into a position with any authority where she could fire Hope or make decisions about her line. I mean, Brooke may even demand that she and Ridge are co-CEOs and Steffy's shoved out. Brooke may demand that the Forresters promise that both Hope and Carter get to keep their jobs as a condition of her giving the company back. That would be a very bitter pill for Eric, Ridge, and Steffy to swallow. So I'm quite interested to hear about Brooke's plan, because it's starting to feel like Brad Bell wrote this plot just to make his favorite character the hero in all of this, while also twisting it to make sure that Hope's not seen as a villain when she is definitely guilty. She's not the mastermind behind what Carter did, but she is his partner in crime, and it is definitely crime as far as I'm concerned. And whatever plan Brooke's cooking up, protecting Hope is definitely going to be a part of it, and I just doubt Ridge can live with that.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.